Hello, guys!
So we're here to review Aqua. This is a...
Aqua.
Aqua.
Biodiversity of the Oceans.
That's right. There were actually two games called Aqua released at Gen Con this year. And it caused me some great confusion. And I had one of them marked on the list, but it was the other one. So I passed on that. And then I saw this one, which was a puzzle game. And I was like, oh, this must be the Aqua that I meant to
So
mark.
we're getting an Aqua game.
So I ended up getting Aqua. So that's how you ended up getting a copy of that 7 game.
Yeah.
Because I got Aqua.
Flip 7.
Along with Gnome Hollow at 2 separate times. Rob, what can you tell us about
I can't do it yet.
Oh,
because
that's right.
we need you to do something first.
You need to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed to us and join us along on our merry adventures as we travel
the wonderful world of board games.
We discover the billions and billions of fish that are in the oceans.
The fish. So, Aqua Biodiversity of the Oceans is a 2024 release. Overall rank is 3,519 with a rating of 7.3. Plays 1 to 4 people in 30 to 45 minutes, ages 8 and up. And we got a lot of designers. So we got, initially, the main game is designed by Dan and Tristan Halstead, but a solo variant was made by a couple other gentlemen by the names of Asger Harding and Daniel Skjold Peterson. Art by Vincent Dutrait. Published by the Op and Sidekick Games. Now, I couldn't find a straight up MSRP price. Amazon had it for $37.50. Noble Knight was at $35.95 at the cheapest. And Miniature Market was at $40.
So let's talk about the quality components. So first of all, you get a really
cardboard.
thick cardboard. I mean,
yeah, it's like good cardboard
good solid, chunky cardboard, making up all your tiles, and you get these large marine animals that come along and. I guess,
it's not really the marine animals that come in. They're on cardboard.
Well, yes. Yeah. But you're going to play them onto your board based upon where the fish are.
I don't think you can get a dolphin.
Presumably they're eating the fish, but then later on you remove them, and the fish are eating them from the inside. I don't know. But somehow those fish survive. These tiles are really chunky, and I do like the different patterns.
It's very colorful.
Very colorful.
Yeah, I love the art.
Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to represent a coral reef and the different wildlife you might see there. Yeah, I think it's an interesting display, but as far as quality components, it's all cardboard.
Yep.
You get a ton of it. But there's nothing outstanding about it. I will, because of the volume of it and the thickness of it, I'll probably go ahead and give it a 6.
I think 6 is a good score. I mean, it's not. Yeah, it's just cardboard, but it's pretty good quality cardboard. So it's definitely better than Catan quality.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it. It's really good cardboard, but it's just cardboard.
Yep.
So there's nothing special. I'm gonna give it a 6.
Okay.
0.1.
Now, I will say also they have you can build a divider tray for the insert, and it's got nice little areas to dip in to take it out. The one thing is there's one insert where they have tiles that should have had a divider for. So Sean jury-rigged a little divider for my box. It allows me to store those tiles that are these bonus tiles. And they fit in there nicely now. But yeah, they did do a nice insert too, so that's why I think 6 is fair. All right, moving on to theme. Again, this is a puzzle game. It's abstract, but it does have fish. I have always liked fish, as far as I think they're cool animals. Yeah, it's colorful. The art, what there is actually pretty nice.
I think Vincent did a good job on the drawings of the large marine animals is really cool. Small marine animals is pretty nice too, and the coral looks really neat.
Yeah, and it does make a nice table presence as you build out your tableau here with your different arrangements of creatures. So there's nothing outstanding about it. I'll probably give it a 6.5.
Yeah, I think 6.5 is good.
Okay.
Yeah, not a lot of variety, but it's very colorful. I like it.
Okay, I really, really like the art of this. This is, in my opinion, really good art. Okay. I think in a lot of people's opinion, this is really good art. And I like the theme of this.
Okay.
Like I'm gonna give it probably an 8.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. Moving on to the rule book before she goes up any higher on her scores.
Might be a plus 0.1 to yours.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the rule book here, first of all, it's got a nice texture to it. This is a nice quality rule book. It's not the standard paper.
It has a different texture.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I love
It's these are the kind of rule books I love. They feel good in your hands when you have them. It's a 12-page rule book. It's got a cover that matches the cover of the box. And then you open it up. It's got the components pictured and the counts of them. I guess it does have all the bonus tiles in there. There's the setup, which the setup's pretty straightforward as far as how to get it out and put it all together. You do have to remove specific numbers of coral depending on player count. So you're gonna, we used a bag and just randomly drew them out of there. It says to shuffle them and put them on the table, but there's a lot of tiles to shuffle. And then you go into playing the round, which really is pretty simple. But this is where there's one big problem with the rule book, and it's probably the biggest problem with the game. There's a first player token, which is this
big snail.
Big snail. And whoever gets it, they take the first turn, but they always have to put this back into the play area. And anybody can draft that tile, but if they take it, the penalty is they have to wait until the last to take their turn. So everybody gets the same number of tiles, but you wait till last. Well, whoever's last position, there's absolutely no reason not to take that tile. So you would always basically shift counterclockwise around the table, in essence.
It'd almost be like really cool if you chose to go last, so you would get the extra tile too, but you don't get to become first player.
Well,
so there would be a good advantage of going last.
Yeah, but being the last player, you're getting. You might as well take it.
I agree in this sense, but maybe as an alternate, if you got 2 tiles instead of the first player tile.
Well, what if you have 4 people?
Same idea. You would still. There's always one extra one.
Oh.
Yeah, there's one more than the number of players.
But either way, I don't like how they did the first player.
Yeah, it just seems a little silly because if you're gonna do that, just
it's just rotating the player anyway.
Yeah, unless somebody just doesn't care about the tile, and then they could take it just to be first player for the next round. But the chances of that happening are slim. Usually there's something you need that's out there that you're gonna. So, not to mention, you do get first dibs at one of those bigger fish, that are out there. So I think
I'm not a big fan of it.
Yeah, that's the biggest fault in the game. Yeah. But after you've chosen your tile, that was getting into the rules or gameplay. We're talking about rules right now. So then you've got the different other actions you take with it, and then variants, which really consists of just a few basic things that you can change for family rules or making it more advanced. They've got different scoring tiles. We use the basic ones, but they have ones where you can randomize and shift these in. It makes it a little more complex. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of them. So there's a lot of variety in the game. And then you've got solo rules, which is half page, and then achievements if you manage to accomplish these achievements for different scenarios that they have. And then challenges, modifications to the game. They've got a lot of flexibility in how you play this game. And they've got a little bit of blurb about the different animals too, which is kind of cool.
That's cool, yeah.
And even, the small and the large animals. So, I think they've done a nice job with this rule book, except for that one problem, because it wasn't really clear how it worked.
Yeah.
And we had to check on it to confirm, because it seemed a little silly, but that's what
There's definitely more to it than your usual op game.
Yeah,
so.
That was, I think the op in general did a nice job at Gen Con.
They did this year.
I can't say any of the games are like my favorite of the bunch.
But they're not the worst
But they're
games.
definitely not the worst
Yeah.
games, and they're better than a lot of.
And
what
most
Pop
of them
has
are
released in
family
the
friendly,
past.
so
Yeah.
that's a bonus in of itself.
Yeah, and this was, a puzzler that actually I think, we've got to the table several times because it is entertaining. It's not bad, which we'll get into more again, the gameplay. But the rulebook, I think, does a nice job, apart from that one problem. I'll probably go ahead and give it I'll give it an 8 because of the quality of the paper and everything, and the fact that it does a pretty nice job.
Okay.
Okay, so gameplay. So your goal for this, you have to have a strategy for this kind of.
Well,
It's
yeah.
not really.
It's a strategy game, so that would make sense.
Yes, normally, like Randy said, there's one more than the number of players of tiles that we get to pull from. So whoever gets to go first gets to draft first.
Yeah.
And then, so you draft that with the goal being either trying to make a hex of a single color or expanding a reef, which is 4 or more pieces
That don't
of
form a
various
hexagon.
shapes that doesn't form a hexagon. And the benefit being the hex would be the color of small wildlife you get, and those are worth points. Or if you do a reef, any small wildlife connected to that reef adds to the value of the reef.
Yeah.
So they could be worth quite a bit of points if you build the reef right.
Yeah, and then if you make different colored animals in the hexagons adjacent to one another, that's when you can play on top of them these larger animals. And each space on it has to be a different color.
Yeah, that's the main thing you got to
trickiest part.
remember. They have to be different color of small animals
Yeah, I forgot
to get the
that.
big guys.
Yep.
Forgot that.
So they have the one that is with the narwhal or
Yeah,
whatever.
the narwhal
is the hardest.
and they're depreciating value. So the
Yeah.
first person to get is going to get the most points, whereas the second person will get less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're playing 4 players, there's a third one.
Right.
So this plays well at 4 or 3. I wouldn't probably recommend this at 2.
Right.
I've seen that they've got some
I think it'd be pretty
house
boring.
rules recommending for 2, but I don't have like house ruling. I don't think this is a good for a 2-player game. As far as after as you play your build, you're building it out. I think it's 17 turns that everybody's going to end up getting at the end to try to arrange your optimal hexes and your reefs the way you want them. Then you're going to and put any bonus fish for any of the combinations down here. They're all associated with a matching color. So like this first one is whenever you build a purple, you get a victory point for each animal that touches the purple on your board, including other purples. Now it only counts the small animals. So the first thing you do is score all your big animals on the board. Then you remove them. And that was something we missed when we were doing before. You actually, because I was always saying that was my other complaint.
Like
we
the
had.
narwhal would eat the small fish
That was the
sitting
theory,
on top
yeah.
of.
But
But no, that's not the case.
You score that, then you remove it because if otherwise it felt like the big animals were actually taking away points, and
not only do you get the big points, but there's also bonus points associated with these as well.
Yeah. So there's now a lot more impetus to
Yes.
play those big animals. So you score the big animals, take them off, and then you score all your small animals beneath it. Then you score all the bonuses going down the line. And then the ones beyond this first one for the basic game are associated to those large animals. So you get victory points based upon if you had that large animal in your possession, all of the fish that are that color.
Yeah, so for example, if you're able to build it's a barracuda, right?
The first one is a more eel.
So if you build an eel, it shows you 2 different small animals next to each other. So then you put it, but it's associated with these blue ones. So you build this, and then all the blue ones are now worth an additional 2 victory points.
In this case,
on top of whatever you scored before.
These are randomly assigned. So
completely random.
Yes,
So in this case,
you would get different colors arrangements.
but they're all that way. They all have various different additional points for the creatures associated to that shape.
Yeah, and the narwhal gives you 4 points for every one of the yellow fish that you build afterwards. So you can really make a ton of points off of those things.
Yeah, but it's really tough to get 4 different small creatures that's in this shape to be able to get that.
Yep.
So you really have to be kind of lucky because you're looking at the ones that you draft here that's able to build those 4 different small creatures in that shape. So.
Yeah. And you can't do everything.
You can't.
Because if you're building the fish, you got to sacrifice building the reefs because it's a different pattern. So I actually like the puzzle element of this game. I wish that first player thing was a little bit less wonky. And but apart from that, I really enjoy this game. And
yeah, there's a lot more thinky to this than what you think.
Yeah, certainly more than a lot of the other games. I think I'm a 7.5 on this one.
I think I'm a little bit lower. I liked it, but it feels, other than the variety, it feels kind of samey. I played it 3 times now, I think, and I enjoyed all 3 of them, but this third time just didn't feel as entertaining as the first 2, I think. So I still enjoyed it. I still certainly played if anybody brings it to the table, but I'm at a 7.
Well, what's the thing that was uncommon about this feature? There's somebody that hasn't played with this before that made it maybe less entertaining.
No, I don't know.
Just teasing you, baby girl.
So I'm a 7. Sarah, what do you think?
Okay, I think that there could have been something more to it. I like it, and I agree with him because I haven't played it 3 times. I'm gonna give it a 6.5.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
You went way up on the theme, but you went down overall for gameplay.
I love the art.
Right.
That's my favorite part about this game. The art is so beautiful.
Okay.
So, that's our thoughts on Aqua.
Biodiversity of the oceans.
Yes, thank you for clarifying.
You're welcome.
In the ocean.
In the ocean.
It's not of, in.
That too.
All right. So, if you had a chance to pick this up or play it, let us know what your thoughts are on this game. If you have a puzzle game that is just your favorite, let us know that too. Because
if you think Sarah's whack, let us know. You can.
How these guys are. You. Okay.
All right.
There you go.
Yeah, let us know what your favorite puzzle games are, because I'm always up for a new puzzle game because I love them. So, all right. So until next time, you keep on swimming that ocean, and we'll keep on playing.
Bye.